Hey, this is Connor on Connor's Retribution Analysis, and I have another Garryth 2 game and another Gorten game. I know it's getting a little bit redundant with how much mercenaries I'm playing against, but quality of opponents is good, and I'm learning and I'm developing and I'm fine-tuning Garryth, so I'm definitely getting what I want. And that brings me to this Garryth list. I think I have the formula I want. It has good mix of guns, melee, and just a good mix of everything. There aren't as many feet shots as I would like, but that's about the only place it feels like it suffers. The Sentinels want to alpha and not be forced into alphaing or rely on anything like that. And the gun line wants to punish them for not coming into me and continue to shoot as long as I can. So as long as I have more guns than they do, I'm not incentivized to come in to them and like run into their army or anything like that and pop feet. I can actually alpha into them and then pop feet. And I like that as a concept of the list. I really like that slow, calculated play, weighing pros and cons of every decision. I don't like the push forward and feet type of mentality that sometimes Gorshade 4 and Garryth 2 make me feel like is the right play. So, moving on, one of the key concepts is that Garryth 2 seems to die a lot. I'm hoping that if I can have a trident out in front of him that body blocks and just as a big giant tomato can. Also, I mean, it's just a mobile gun platform, slamming things around and shooting stuff and stuff like that, and moving my models that are behind it. So there's a lot of things that I like there about this trident in this list. So having said that, this forest is actually a detriment to the trident because they can charge the trident and get to Garryth. However, in this list, there's drillers, which are threat 7 inches, and I'm pretty sure I can, push them around enough and keep Garryth out of their 7 inches. As long as Garryth is out of 14 of Gorten and I don't give Gorten any charges so he can feed on me and pull me in, because that'd be really bad for Garryth. There's like a million things stacked onto that Gorten feed. It's like, okay, you pull me 8 inches, and you're -3 speed, and you're -3 rat. And I think it does defense too, and you can't run or charge or do power attacks, and you think they're done with the rules on that feat, and then you just keep reading more, and you're like, oh my goodness. So anyhow, I don't want to experience that. He's slow enough, and I have enough Harpy guns. I should be able to push him around. He does have 2 shield guards, though. That Hutchuk back there is an Ogrun bokur. Besides that, everything is what it looks like it is. Lots of hammer dwarfs, hammer dwarf clown cars that pop out, hammer dwarves, and a lot of gun bunny blasters, the spray bunnies. So I go first, I get up the map, and I'm pretty much setting myself up for what I talked about, trident in the middle, and Sentinels on the right and the left. His turn, he gets up the board pretty far as well. I'm instantly debating, anytime you can CC or push back Gorten or get him farther away from you, it's usually a good thing. He has 2 Ogrun bokurs, and I think I was baited to try and do a lot of effects to push him around because of those 2 Ogrun bokurs. So the first thing I do is I take Garryth, and where he is right now, Sylis puts Arcane Secrets on him. Garryth activates, casts Mortality on the Siege Crawler over here on the left. And my goal this turn is either to shoot down the Siege Crawler, or it's basically to shoot down the Siege Crawler. Yeah. So I sacrifice movement, and I take a shot at it, and I roll double ones. And I'm like, well, that was interesting. I mean, it was probably going to get shield guarded anyways, but I at least wanted to blow up an Ogrun bokur. I wanted to blow something up with this giant elephant gun that I have no clue why he was given in Ret. I mean, he's basically Sloan in Ret for his shooting effectiveness. Actually, he's better than Sloan in Ret, although she can move and then refuge. And he can do the same thing. He just doesn't get his armor piercing when he does that. She's always about 12 weapon master. And this is in no way complaining. Okay, enough talking. Tridents and Harpies, now that Mortality is on that Siege Crawler, I just start putting shot after shot after shot into it. I do the math in my head. I was really counting on that armor piercing, either getting shield guarded or not getting shield guarded, and that making my math easier. But it's dice off 5. I have a lot of Trident shots and a lot of Harpy shots. They're all going to be boosted for damage. Well, 3 of them are from the Trident. It ends up killing the Siege Crawler, and this guy right here got slammed into that dwarf right there, and messed up, and I took out his Cortex, so it feels pretty good. I was tempted to put a few shots into it with my non-boosted gunshots, but I didn't. Trident very carefully repos out of Gorton's 14 inches, so that, or out of his charge range of, I want to say it's like 8 or 9, so that way he can't charge me and use that as a feet extension and pull like Garryth through the forest or my Sentinels through the forest and kill them all or something like that. Because that's happened in a Legion game a little while back. My opponent now feels pressured. I ran some Sentinels out for him to kill to trigger Vengeance and also kind of tie down his army and hopefully jam him, make Order of Activations difficult. This blue unit on the right has Force Barrier. This red unit on the left has Occultation. And that's pretty much me. So his turn. He plans on taking gun bunnies and walking like this and spraying. Or no, sorry. He walks like this and sprays and doesn't do anything, but that's kind of expected because no powerful attack. Walks with the other one and shoots and sprays, and I did not pop many feet for it on these Sentinels because I did not expect to lose very many. He does not kill any of them. So then after that becomes this big giant dice catastrophe of events of him trying to unjam these Sentinels and dice failing him at every turn. And he's trying to fight off the tilt because I just blew away one of his Siege Crawlers. That's 40 boxes, armor 20. And I pretty much gave him 4 Sentinels in exchange. And he doesn't like it. He doesn't like that he can't get his feet. And he's feeling really pressured to get involved in the matchup because otherwise I mortality the left hammer dwarves and Trident just walks over there and hoses them all type of thing. Or I do the same thing to his other Siege Crawler. And he has Siege Gun against my Trident. So he was really looking at this matchup. He was like, I think I can shoot down the Trident with 2 Siege Crawlers. And I was like, yeah, I think that's the thing. Which is why I tried to focus one down. Talked about it also, and we decided that it was the right move to move the thing up. He can't live in fear and have the thing too far back because then even if it does the work it wants to, he's not relevant on scenario anymore since they're just too slow. Anyhow, between a Driller, Ogrun, Bokur, and a lot of other pieces, he does get the Sentinels cleared. The Siege Crawler was able to charge right here, kill some Sentinels, got a stagger on about 4 or 5 of these Sentinels and an Artificer. The flag guy doesn't really count because, well, who cares about him? And Gorten came over to right about here and put out another rock wall, and he tried to barricade himself behind his dudes. And we can see that's him right there. So I'm looking at this, and I think this would be great. I can do a lot of attrition work. Let's just see how my Vengeance attacks go. So I almost kill this gunner with my Vengeance attacks right here, do pretty good work. But then, surprisingly, all my Vengeance attacks from these Sentinels almost kill the Siege Crawler. And my dice were just on fire. I mean, on 3 dice, it's dice off 8. I should be doing a couple, nickels and pennies on him. But bring out the 14s and the 15s and the 16s. Come on, dice. Fantastic. It worked out great. So there's that. And while these Vengeance attacks are happening and I'm thinking about the situation I'm in, I think I can kill all these Hammer Dwarves on the left, and with those damage rolls, I can kill this Siege Crawler, and I can probably get some work on these guys right here and then try and ignore this line over here. And I'm thinking about that, And then I'm thinking about the fact that how far forward he is. There's a chance of me getting assassinated, or there's a chance of him pushing me out on feet, or there's this weird thing that I feel like I'm giving him too much control. He really took a pretty big risk moving Gorten up here with no focus, even with all those guys out in front of him. I did have 2 Sentinels over here that were intentionally set up to charge the Ogrun bokur with my Vengeance attacks to try and clear out a line, because right here and right here, there is a little window I can see through to see Gorten once that front Ogrun bokur dies. Yeah, so I think that's the plan. I go for the assassination run. Moros with fleet can charge him and land over here and paralyze him and get a little bit of damage on him. So I'm going to start my turn off like that, see how that goes, and then just kind of try and play this reactively. If things don't work out, I'm going to activate Garryth, toss some mortality on this unit over here, and just start planning on sweeping this side and start playing the game like this. That's kind of my backup plan. But, I mean, the Sentinels, Moros gets in there, does pretty good work on Gorten, paralyzes him. I feel like it's on. So these Sentinels that Vengeance charge the Ogrun bokur. And then Trident activates, walks to right about here. I think kills one of the Sentinels that's in his way, and then just starts pouring in shots into, or maybe it was Sentinel Scyir who killed the Sentinel that was in the way, and then starts pouring shots into Gorten. I roll my max focus or power up tokens that I want. However, my middle, and my right side each roll 1 shot. But they're boosted POW 13, so it's doing pretty good damage. And but I get to my left-hand side, and I roll up 3 shots, and I kill him, even with the Ogrun bokur shield guards. So I still had Harpies and Garryth if I really needed him to with Mage Sight. So yeah, wow, never really made it to him. Talking with him about the game is he felt like Gorten was going to be the only thing that was going to save him. I had the perfect combination of tools that Gorten did not want to see. Gorten does not want to see combined arms that can pick his army apart. He wants to see combined arms that can kill hammer dwarves that he can recur back, but he does not want to see a gun line that can shoot down his siege crawlers and drillers and valuable key pieces. Because, I mean, he's got some guns himself. The gun bunnies and the siege crawlers have pretty decent guns. It's just I have a little bit more of a gun line. I mean, really, it's almost a mirror match. I have a little bit better of a gun line, and a little bit better Sentinels compared to hammer dwarves. That's just sort of how it worked out. He felt like with me going first in this position, there wasn't much he could do as long as I played the game safely. So Gorten was kind of there to swing things out. I'll be putting the skill sheet analysis in the comments below, or not the comments, but the description. Thank you for watching, and have a great time.